Hi everybody, Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF Bets Race of the Day for Thursday, October the 11th. Race number 6 at Belmont Park will kick off the late pick 4 with maiden special weights, and these are New York bred 2-year-olds going 6.5 furlongs. You can make this pick 4 play. You can bet the entire Belmont card with a new DRF Bets account. Sign up, receive a 300% deposit match at bets.drf.com. Here's the field for race number 6. Again, kicking off the late 50-cent pick 4. You can access free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post position order, beginning with a Todd Pletcher trained first-time starter, the number 1 Saratoga Style. This horse sold for 20 times the stud fee as a yearling.
Yeah, they paid some money for this horse. We'll see what happens. So far, I like the Revolutionaries. I haven't seen a lot of them, but so far, the ones I've seen that I like, I love this horse's pedigree on the dam side. There are a ton of runners related to this dam who were all good horses. So the pedigree's there for this horse. We'll see what kind of price he goes off at for Pletcher. I think one thing to keep in mind as far as Pletcher goes, because I think in general terms, you want Pletcher first-time starting 2-year-olds. So far this year, you really don't. Early in the year, he was fine with his 2-year-old first-time starters. Going back to the start of the Saratoga meet, Todd Pletcher is 1 for his last 36 with 2-year-old first-time starters on the dirt, and that one win came via disqualification at Saratoga in a race that was scheduled for turf. So he's been on a pretty bad run with these horses lately.
That's a pretty stunning number, but you make good points about the pedigree. Revolutionary's gotten off to a good start. First crop stallions 4 for 20 with his 2-year-old first-time starters. You mentioned the dams, a half to an Arkansas Derby winner and Sir Cherokee, and a multiple graded stakes winner going long, Mrs. Sella. The number 2 is Dearly Declared. This is a daughter of Declaration of War, and if you just look at the sire and dam, you're thinking turf. Yeah. Declaration of War, a turf horse. This dam won 3 times on the turf, but she's also foaled Saratoga Snacks. Right. He was one of the top New York bred handicap horses for a while, earned over almost $700,000. I like this steady stream of 5 furlong workouts for a Hot Barn and Barkley Tag. I think Dearly Declared, 4-1 in the morning line's the first or maybe to watch.
Yeah, I think that might all that stuff might be true. We'll see what happens. I like this horse's pedigree just fine. Barkley Tag, he's fine with the first-time starter when he's got the right one.
He's at the Spa, though.
Usually is at Saratoga. He's been on a pretty good run lately, too. His horses are pretty live. This is an interesting first-time starter. I want to see how much money this horse is. I think he's going to get bet.
Number 3 is Mary's Girl. This is a daughter of Shanghai Bobby. She's a half-sister to a stakes place dirt sprinter in New York named Bluegrass Jubilee. The dam was stakes place going a mile on dirt. Thought she finished an even third last time out. She's going to have to improve off those 44 buyers because she exits the Midnight's All Right race. Right. And if I want a horse coming out of that race, I want Midnight's All Right.
I agree with all those things. We'll see if this horse can take a step forward because based on her first 2 starts, she really has to.
Rosier sold for a pretty penny, $100,000 earlier this year. That's not a bad price for a daughter of Mission and Passable. Career debut, she took a little bit of money at Saratoga. The runner-up came back to win a little minor stakes race at Finger Lakes with a 61 buyer speed figure. The second dam was stakes place sprinting on the dirt. I would expect some improvement from this Danny Gargan trainee, but for me, she's best played underneath.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I just don't like her that much based on the first start. Not that that has to be, you know, the race that defines her. She did take some money in that race. It's interesting. I guess they really liked her breeze back in April at Ocala because there's really not that much pedigree on the dam side. She breezed 10-2. They paid a pretty good penny for this horse. They bet her first time out. She just didn't run that well.
Jason Service having just another tremendous year. He's got the morning line favorite in here, the number 5, Midnight's All Right. We have a formulator fact for Service that we would like to show to you. The past 3 years, 2-year-old dirt sprinters coming off a little layoff, 40% winners, a 475 ROI. This filly already stakes place 2 starts back at Belmont in the Lynbrook, and last time out in the out formation maiden race, part of a pretty solid pace. I thought it was actually a pretty quick pace. Yeah. Hung on well for second behind More Mischief, who came back to run second in the Joseph A. Jimma with a 59 buyer.
Yeah, I mean, More Mischief actually could be pretty good, and she was way the horse to beat that day when she ran this horse down. I'm with you. I think that horse did a lot of work up on a pace that race and just was no match. More Mischief, her buyer went down in her next start, but that was basically an impossible spot where the winner just got loose on a super slow pace. She actually ran really well and is a pretty nice horse. I mean, I don't love this horse yet. I don't think she's done anything special in her first 3 starts, but she's clearly the horse to beat in the end.
She's lacked stamina. She's lost ground from the stretch call to the wire in all of her races, but she's going to be forwardly placed, if not outright on the lead again, as we cue the Timeform US Pace Projector, which has the 5 Midnight's All Right and the 8 Don't Tell Addie out there on the lead, and the pace should be fair. She's very logical in this spot. The number 6 is Called It a Truce is by one of our favorite old New York breds, Friend or Foe. Now, this dam won 4 times on the turf, was stakes placed on that surface. This filly entered on the turf in the career debut as a main track only. I thought that was a bit surprising. surprising. She ran well to finish second. She was very, very wide turning into the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because she didn't take any money in that race, and she was entered to run on the dirt that day, as was the winner. And she actually ran pretty well in that race when you consider September 15th. The rail's been good since we gotten back to Belmont Park basically every day of the meet. On September 15th, it was especially strong. The horse that won the race got right to the front, right to the rail. This horse was wide every step of the way. I actually feel like she ran an underrated race, not only to carry all the ground, but she kept closing ground in the stretch. She actually ran really well. I thought it was an underrated performance. And I feel like now that Kimmel's entered her right back for the main track, I feel like this horse might be pretty tough in this race.
It's good price as well, 6-1 on the morning line. The number 7 is She's So Shady. This is a first-time starter trained by Jason Service, a daughter of first crop sire Central Banker. This one worked in 10-1 before that, selling for $47,000 in June. I didn't find a ton of pedigree here. I think the Central Bankers can be useful, especially in precocious. 2 for 19 thus far with first-time starters. A lot of gate works here at Monmouth. I'm not sure I love that.
I don't love the gate works either. I do like the Central Bankers. They're pretty fast and precocious. I'm with you. I didn't see a lot of pedigree on the dam side. You put up a formulator fact for Service's other horse. I'll just give you one for horses like this. First-time starters. He's a good trainer overall with first-time starters. First-time starters in New York past 5 years. 1 for 44 for Service. He has not been winning with these horses in New York.
Is it too early to give up on the number 8, Don't Tell Addie? She's got a really strong pedigree. She's by Big Brown out of a full sister to Banshee Breeze, who was a 5-time Grade 1 stakes winner. And you look at her 2 running lines, and they don't look inspiring at all until you realize that the winner of the debut won by 11 and freaked out, and the winner of the second race, Kafefi, won by the length of the stretch and was the beaten favorite last week in the Grade 1 Frisette. And Don't Tell Addie actually showed a little bit of speed in that spot. She's going to be a big price in this race, but I wouldn't be surprised if she shows a good amount of improvement.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I feel like the thing that you really want to be aware with her is that she, it all depends on the first-time starters and whether they have speed or not, because this really might have speed. I mean, she might be really forward in this race, and maybe it's just finally the right spot for her because, as you pointed out, not that she did anything so compelling in her first 2 starts, but she ran into 2 good horses.
I wonder if the number 9, Already Celebrating, needs a little bit more ground. She's by Belmont Stakes winner Union Rags out of an APND mare that was Grade 3 placed at 1 mile and a 16th. But Tom Worley has done good work with these kind of horses, as we see from this formulator fact. Second-time starting 2-year-olds in maiden special weight dirt sprints, 33% winners, a 472 ROI. I mean, this filly going 6.5 at Saratoga wasn't the easiest spot in the world. I would expect some improvement as well.
Yeah, finished behind a couple of these horses in that race. She just didn't really do that much running in there. She wound up over towards the rail and just never really kicked into gear. Maybe she just needs some time. Maybe she needs more distance. It is interesting that Morley blew her out pretty quickly last week. 3 throws and 35 breezing, so maybe she'll show more speed this time.
Like this outside post, we figure the 5 and the 8 will be forwardly placed. Who knows what we get from the first-time starters, but if they don't fire, maybe this horse is in a nice spot on the outside at a big price. Let's take a look at our top selections for the DRF Bets Thursday race of the day. You like Call It a Truce on the deeper outside footing in the career debut. Nice performance for an underrated trainer in John Kimmel.
Yeah, I just thought that she ran well in that race. It may be better than it even looks on paper. To me, I get that the 5 is probably the horse to beat in here, but I didn't really want her. I'll take my chances with Call It a Truce, because if it's not her, I think it might be one of the first-time starters.
You're going to go 6-5-1-2, and I am going to go with one of the first-time starters, the 2 dearly declared, the half to Saratoga Snacks. Tags going great guns right now. It has been doing so pretty much since the Saratoga meeting. Like the 5 Furlong Breezes, think she'll be ready to go 6.5 furlongs, and maybe a turf feature down the road as well with Declaration of War on top. Mike's going 6-5-1-2. I'm going 2-5-6-7 in your DRF Bets Thursday race of the day. We kick off the late pick 4. Make sure to play it with a DRF Bets account and the 300% deposit match that goes along with it. Find out more at bets.drf.com. An approximate post time for race number 6 at Belmont on Thursday, 4:14 Eastern. Good luck.